How many bicycle blunders are you willing to admit to? So in hopes of helping new bicycle riders avoid some big errors, here are some common cycling mistakes and tips on how to avoid them. I admit to all of them.
Saddles are not all designed the same. If you have a saddle on a bike, that doesn't mean it has to stay your saddle on the bike. It can be a different saddle. So for example, one of the saddles we usually go to for a female rider is a Terry saddle, which means that when a woman sits on it, their pelvis hits it at certain spots that can make it very uncomfortable to ride. So we change a saddle to have a longer nose and a later flare instead of a flare that comes out here, which again, if you're sitting on it in a position, it can cause saddle sores, discomfort. So you don't have to ride like that. You can come in and change a saddle. And that's a very basic thing that we look at when we look at a fit. Don't make that mistake.
If you start having any kind of hand problems, we might want you to go to these minimalist gloves. For example, I have arthritis that's starting to show up in these two joints in my hand. And these two pads were putting pressure on those two joints. And it was really giving me a lot of pain. So one of the newest gloves that they have got are these ones that just have a very minimalist pad, and they help us hold on to the bar. But it does not put pressure on our hands where we may have a problem in our hands. Don't go with the mistake of adding padding, because that may compound your problem. Don't make that mistake.
If you're riding a couple days a week, probably before, you always want to check your tire pressure before you go. Air leaks out naturally, so because the tires and tubes are porous, and so it comes out naturally. So if you haven't ridden your bike in a long time and it's flat tire, you always want to pump it up like overnight, and then in the morning, if it's still holding air, it doesn't have a flat. If it's flat the next day, then you know you've got probably a hole in your tube or something's going on with your tire.
I think one mistake that beginner cyclists make, because they're so excited about it, is they overestimate their endurance. Because when you look at a ride and you say, oh, that's only 5 miles, and you get out there and you've done 5 miles, but it's still 5 miles back. So you want to make sure that someone knows where you are, that they won't laugh if you call them and say, I've had enough, that you have plenty of water with you, and that your phone is charged.
Oh my God, that's me sometimes. That's awesome.
And you're not a beginner.
Don't make that mistake.
Always pay attention. There are people who will be riding fast. There are people who won't really be fully aware. The best thing that you can do riding the trail is you're coming up behind somebody, signal before you pass.
Let them know verbally that you're going to be passing.
Hey, hey. All right, danger, danger, danger. Up. Don't make that mistake.
We're outnumbered. I'm actually really excited. I'm seeing a lot more women on bikes. I'm seeing a lot more women with a lot more confidence on bikes than I saw a couple years ago. I think what happened during the lockdown is people dusted off those old bikes and started getting out and riding. And so it's very excited. So just find someone whose company you really enjoy and start biking together.
Hope to see you riding.